Welcome to the Age of Aquarius series. I'm Cecilia Blue Witch, your astrologer, and in this episode, we begin to unveil the Mars-Saturn-Neptune archetype, where cosmic forces collide to shape the hero's journey through chaos, resilience, and transformative leadership. How will you rise in this new era? This episode runs a bit long, but its conclusion ties seamlessly to the theme, offering a transcendent interpretation of 100 Years of Solitude through the eyes of Blue Witch. Rich with philosophy and depth, it's a perspective even the author himself might not have imagined. Don't miss it. The Mars-Saturn-Neptune archetype group, Magical Realism. This archetype is composed of the energies of Saturn in Pisces, Saturn-Neptune, Saturn in Aries, Saturn-Mars, and Neptune in Aries, Mars-Neptune. Below are the core themes for each archetype, offering insight into their combined effects, which will be explored in detail. Mars or Aries, archetype: war god, heroism, courage, volatility, impatience, competition. Neptune or Pisces, archetype: illusion, spirituality, confusion, compassion. Saturn or Capricorn, archetype: reality, rules, restrictions, hardships. Saturn-Neptune in Pisces. When Saturn and Neptune merge in Pisces, it's as if humanity is playing out a symphony of pathétique on the grand stage of existence. The heavens seem indifferent, treating all beings as mere straw dogs. The news of these years reflects this energy vividly. On a global scale, the devastating release of nuclear-contaminated water into the ocean, accompanied by the collective cry of despair. On a personal level, stories like a balloon vendor losing their livelihood to an unexpected storm. A heart-wrenching tale for those with a strong Pisces empathy. The raw heartbreak of witnessing the suffering of vulnerable groups becomes impossible to ignore under this alignment. Under this archetype, magical realism becomes the lens through which we process these shared struggles. Sometimes heartbreaking, sometimes absurd, but always profoundly human. Two manifestations in daily life. Under Saturn in Pisces, we observe two contrasting dynamics in people's lives. 1. Saturnian realists, once defined by their hard work and rigid adherence to reality, are now turning to Neptune for spiritual redemption, learning to embrace flow, and even indulge in moderation through letting go. 2. Conversely, Neptunian escapists, accustomed to avoidance and passivity, are being forced to confront Saturn's lessons of responsibility, learning to find direction within the confines of structure and discipline. Mermaids. Finding boundaries. The empathetic mermaids are learning to establish healthy boundaries, avoiding burnout from overburdening themselves with others' problems. The saints have begun dismantling their own illusions, cultivating a more restrained and pragmatic form of compassion. Meanwhile, the rise of terms like NPD, narcissistic personality disorder, reflects the collective shift toward identifying and confronting toxic dynamics. I too found myself deeply connected to this theme, having personally endured a decade as an NPD survivor. As a seasoned South Node Pisces native, the past 2 years have been a profound training ground for me to turn dreams into reality. I've walked the path diligently, with no complaints, anchoring boundless inspiration into tangible form. I've learned to refine my skills, patiently witnessing wisdom taking root. Like a fish trying to leap over a dam, but finding itself forced to crawl across the shallows under Saturn's restraint. I've discovered the art of perseverance. I see a clock tower rising above misty waters, with time crystallizing into amber deep beneath the ocean waves. Dreams constrained by time, frozen in the tides. Yet in this, I've found that spirituality is no longer an escape, but a transcendence of reality itself. From chaos to new order. As Saturn's energy continues to evolve, chaos and destruction pave the way for new order. To further integrate structure and spirituality, Saturn will soon shift its focus from locking the fish to locking the hero. This energy transition represents a shift from introspection within chaos to breakthroughs in action. After the Bodhisattva lowers their gaze, it's time for the wrathful Vajra to rise. Compassion, once structured and disciplined, must now be wielded with thunderous force, combining kindness with decisive execution. Only then can we contribute in meaningful ways to humanity's collective progress. Saturn-Neptune in Aries. The next chapter awaits. Let's explore how Saturn's discipline combines with Aries' fiery courage to propel spiritual strength into action. Saturn and Neptune enter Aries, fire and water collide. As Saturn and Neptune shift into Aries, the world will feel increasingly intense, half water, half flame. It reminds me of the black sand beaches of Hawaii, where life emerges from volcanic ash and seawater. This is a lone hero's apocalyptic journey, navigating through icy ruins to ignite passion, hoist the sails, and find redemption through trial. A primal impulse for life is about to tear through the darkness, driven by an unstoppable determination to awaken dormant hope. It will declare to the world, "Dawn is rising." The shadow side of the Mars-Saturn-Neptune archetype. The combined energies of Saturn and Neptune will continue to amplify anxiety and depression, even sparking widespread dysfunction and potential epidemics. This atmosphere will pervade both international relations and personal interactions. Ideological and value-based clashes will grow more emotional and polarizing. Expect heightened competition for moral superiority, fueled by conspiracy theories and paranoia. Neptune in Aries can lead to impulsive, irrational behavior in the public, with individuals driven by fervent beliefs that often mask deeper frustrations and resentment. Beware of manipulative propaganda and the exploitation of scapegoats to divert tensions. These tactics, which sow division and hatred, will become common tools for misdirection and control. The Aries Vortex, a turning point for the 21st century. The Saturn-Neptune conjunction in Aries is considered one of the most pivotal astrological events of the century, a cosmic inflection point, often called the Aries Vortex. It heralds an unprecedented transformation of global order. This alignment symbolizes the dismantling of old systems and the birth of new visions, marking a transitional period filled with both challenges and opportunities. Emerging themes include new leadership models, a shift toward bold, individual-driven approaches, elevated personal awareness, greater introspection, and self-realization. The reshaping of global civilization, new frameworks for cooperation and coexistence. Some anticipate this conjunction will spark a new spiritual awakening and consciousness movement, paving the way for collective awareness to ascend. At the very least, it provides a crucial opportunity for individuals and societies to reassess their paths and future directions. This era also promises a powerful integration of human and divine potential. Humanitarian values will be fortified with actionable energy, inspiring more movements toward charity, peace, and global unity. Saturn and Neptune in Aries challenge us to merge the visionary with the pragmatic, to dream boldly and act decisively. The Aries Vortex, leadership at the crossroads. Both the midpoint of the Uranus-Pluto trine and the Saturn-Neptune conjunction converge at 0 degrees. Aries, a vortex point. All cosmic signs point to this archetype of pioneering leadership, a hero with the innocence of a child, tasked with monumental responsibilities. This leader is empowered by the technological renaissance of Uranus and Pluto, yet simultaneously tested by the confusion and weight of Saturn and Neptune. This hero suddenly becomes the key figure, a superhuman deciding the fate of the entire planet. Endowed with virtues of courage, hope, and responsibility, they are envisioned as the leader who rescues humanity, guiding the masses onto a Noah's Ark toward a brave new world. The turbulent times of Saturn and Neptune in Aries naturally call for heroic redemption. Compassionate, courageous, disciplined, and resilient new leaders will begin to emerge, capturing public trust and inspiring hope. Yet during the peaks of this astrological influence, they will also bear the heaviest burdens of responsibility, facing immense pressure, setbacks, and trials. Their challenge will be to temper impulsive advances to prevent chaos, disillusionment, and disappointment among the people. The hero within. This archetype, however, is not limited to world leaders or technological pioneers. In the microcosm of each of our lives, you are that leader. Your inner warrior is the self-awareness that must rise to the occasion, becoming the central theme of your life. You are being called to elevate your humanity and strive toward destiny-defining self-fulfillment. Yet you too will endure the 14-year Neptunian cycle of confusion, grappling with rage, frustration, loss of control, anxiety, chaos, and nihilism. Through the battle between your free will and the ultimate forces of inevitability, you will come to understand the profound truth that the waves are the ocean's struggle. At times, this energy will push you to compete ferociously, while at others it will force you to endure sacrifices and disillusionment. This slow-burning intensity will unfold over 14 years, shaping not just individual lives, but the collective energy of humanity. Will it lead to divine anger or unity? How will you channel your anger? Will you let it rage destructively toward your fellow humans? Or will you direct it toward fighting for your beliefs? Remember, your choices are votes cast for the Earth's future. Every precarious decision, every flicker of intention will ripple outward. And so, as the butterfly flutters its wings in the Amazon, the fate of the world trembles on the edge of becoming. Saturn in Aries, the forge of fire and rules. Saturn's entry into Aries brings to mind images of an epic tale of flame and discipline. A spirit ready to draw its sword against overwhelming odds. The wise Saturn, keeper of time, tempers Aries' fiery warrior spirit, transforming raw courage into deliberate strength. Impulses are no longer chaotic. Under Saturn's guidance, Aries learns to find precision within restraint, shaping wild energy into disciplined power. This is courage refined, not extinguished, held in check by self-control, while retaining its unstoppable drive. Saturn places upon Aries the weight of immense responsibility, while Aries imbues Saturn with vitality and passion. It is a balancing act between action and limitation, a harmony forged at the intersection of desires and duties. In this crucible of fire and order, the unrelenting life force of Aries is channeled into enduring achievements, turning fearless energy into meaningful, long-lasting results. Neptune in Aries, the turmoil of fire and illusion. Neptune's transit through Aries conjures an intense mix of imagery: frustration, agitation, chaos, loss of control, sacrifice, and disillusionment. It speaks of lost direction, the collapse of meaning, the fading of goals, and the paralysis of willpower. This energy manifests as delayed action, unexpressed anger, uncontrolled aggression, and diffused violence, a boiling point beneath a deceptive calm. The themes include smoke and mirrors, fire and water, an obsession with competition, and spiraling out of control. It's the embodiment of being caught in a relentless cycle, burned by one's own pursuit of victory. My most immediate impression of this combination is passive aggression. The greatest hunters often disguise themselves as prey. Playing the role of the victim, they cloak themselves in moral righteousness, evoke sympathy, and strike indirectly through subtle, circuitous means. The deeper philosophy: willpower versus fate. Beneath these surface dynamics lies a profound philosophical tension, one that I will explore in detail. The clash between willpower and inevitability, between free will and a sense of destiny. The Mars-Neptune archetype, Aries and Pisces in cosmic transition. Don't underestimate Aries and Pisces, the two most poetic signs of the zodiac, bound by their shared mission as transitional archetypes. As I've explained in Pluto series, Pluto in first house, from the grave to the womb. These two signs embody the period of passage, the link between endings and beginnings. They mirror the epochal shift humanity is now undergoing, a seismic, epic energy that demands our attention. From the very beginning of my Pluto series, I have been exploring this duality of separation and return, the essence of the Mars-Neptune archetype, or the Aries-Pisces pairing. When the world was new, in the world's infancy, many things were nameless, and people pointed instead of naming. If you keep sailing east, you may one day find yourself back at the starting point. This is a stage of creation from nothingness, a primal moment. As the starting point of a new evolutionary cycle, everything is just beginning. The soul, having emerged from the subconscious depths of the 12th house, bursts into the raw awareness of the first house, like a newborn child. Called to take control of its own destiny, it carries the audacious cry, "I shape my fate, fate does not shape me." Instinctively, it knows it has a unique mission to fulfill. But what is it? The values of the old world have disintegrated in the vortex, and the new ones are yet to take form. Intuition hints at a path forward, though it remains undefined. Survivor and pioneer. You find yourself like a wildling surviving catastrophe, stripped of everything except your body. You are forced to begin anew, embarking on an island of survival. Quickly, you create a world steeped in a spirit of action and pragmatism. At the dawn of life's new venture, you are the one who refuses to sit still, the restless builder and bold adventurer. In this transitional phase, Aries and Pisces remind us of the simultaneous chaos and creativity of beginnings. They are the bearers of renewal, carrying the soul from dissolution into creation, from the depths of the past into the promise of the future. A story to illuminate the core of Mars-Neptune, Neptune in Aries. Over 14 years. While reading 100 Years of Solitude, I was deeply moved by the symbolic representation of twin brothers in this karmic family saga. To me, it was a vivid portrayal of the Pisces and Aries archetypes. Filled with insatiable curiosity, I immediately pulled up Gabrielgarciamarquez's natal chart. To my astonishment, all I saw were a cluster of Pisces and a cluster of Aries, and nothing else. What does this reveal? The archetypes of the family's first and last generations, particularly the tragic final child with the pig's tail, were none other than Marquez himself. The fusion of Mars, Aries, and Neptune, Pisces. The twins, endlessly fractured and mirrored across generations, represent the split between Pisces and Aries, the dissolution and the emergence, the sea and the flame. Through cycles of fragmentation and reflection, their distinct characters illustrate the archetypal splitting and merging. Pisces and Aries. In the scroll of parchment detailing the family's cyclical fate, a moment of revelation arrives, scattering the mirror of 100 years into the wind, dissolving it into a dream. This perspective perhaps was something even Marquez himself did not consciously envision. Because this is not merely a novel, but an intensely autobiographical work, it achieved its legendary status as a masterpiece of magical realism. Dive deeper into this theme with my exclusive 100 Years of Solitude films, rich in insight and artistry. Head to my YouTube channel now for an unforgettable journey. Stay tuned for the next episode as we dive deeper into this topic. Subscribe to the Age of Aquarius with astrologer Blue Witch Cecilia Sui. Unlock cosmic insights and bold predictions shaping the future. Begin your journey to wisdom and self-discovery today.